Welcome to Unity Inspired Living. Our community began in 1989 as a small worldwide Unity book study group, and we've continued the momentum as an ever-evolving spiritual community. Each Sunday, you will find dynamic thought leaders delivering inspiring messages and talented musicians sharing sound healing through their melody. Here, we embrace ancient spiritual traditions, universal truths, and emerging wisdom. Let's check out this Sunday message. We're so grateful you've joined us. Good morning, beautiful beings. Welcome into Unity Inspired Living. My name is Amy Van Ling, and it is always my delight to gather with you on Sunday mornings. This community continues to grow in depth, in connection, in shared intention, and we're so thankful for your part in this co-creation and this evolution. So thank you for saying yes, your sacred yes, to be here and show up. This space is where we come together to explore life more honestly, to meet ourselves more compassionately, to live more consciously aligned with the divine unfolding, remembering that we are not alone, that we are not, we are pilgrims together in this journey with God. So take a breath into the space, allow yourself to enter with intention, to fully arrive, to let your mind settle, sort of the monkey mind, whoop, quiet down, let your body soften. Maybe your shoulders need to relax, or your jaw, or even your temples. Sometimes we hold stress here. Just arrive to this space. There's nothing you need to figure out. Just a willingness here to be present, to allow something meaningful to unfold. So all month long, we have been exploring from wounds to wonder, and it's our last Sunday in this month, in this theme. And so today we come to this deeper realization that the wonder isn't something we chase, it's something that reveals itself when we stop resisting what we've been through or what's going on. And our wounds that we experience don't disqualify us in any way. They shape us, they deepen us, they open us if we allow that to happen. And so when we meet these wounds with awareness, tenderness, compassion, and a willingness to see the wonder, that's when they begin to transform. So, so they're not wounds, they're our experiences. They're not something we forget. It's we begin to understand it more fully. And that's our growth. So, and from that understanding, we get to see new possibilities. And that's what this conversation has been about this month. And as I said before, Fred is not on the screen, but I am still going to give him an introduction. He is on his way here. It's always my honor to welcome back my friend, colleague, Dr. Fred Luskin. He is a psychologist who has taught at Stanford for over 30 years. He works in mindfulness, emotional intelligence, positive psychology, and he works with leaders all over the world. He's also the director of the Stanford Forgiveness Projects, and he's widely recognized, world-renowned as one of the leading authorities on forgiveness. So his work does truly bridge science and spirituality in a way that is both accessible and deeply transformative. So that's what I feel really special about his work. So he will be here today, concluding our theme for the month, From Wounds to Wonder. So we are thankful for Fred, who will be arriving here shortly. You will also see on the screen, and we are so blessed to have this beautiful lady, my sweet friend and incredibly talented musician, Jessie Powers, with us. She is, I don't remember, it must have been in your bio somewhere, a self-proclaimed joy reminderer. And I love that because sometimes we need those joy reminders, and her music is vibrant and soulful and deeply engaging. You will experience that this morning. Her voice, which is powerful, her playful spirit, and her heartfelt, deeply heartfelt lyrics invite us to just drop in more deeply into the present moment and experience this life and spirit more fully. So thank you, Jessie, for sharing your gifts with us today and saying yes. She has been a busy lady traveling all over. So thank you for making time for us. We're so grateful. You will also see on the screen our beloved, precious reader this morning, our luminous Jan Knight. She is a light worker shining over our community in all ways. She is here to share our inspirational reading this morning and guide us through our prosperity and practice. So thank you, Jan, for being you, for showing up always and saying yes to us. We are thankful for your presence and your care. So we are going to continue and anchoring into our intention that brings us together, and that's our mission. So I just like to remind us of that on Sunday morning. Our mission is fostering love and wisdom, inspiring transformation, offering compassionate outreach, and embracing unity. So thank you for being on this mission with us. We are excited to be doing this together, walking each other home, so to speak. Thank you, Ram Dass. So we open with our community song, and we like to do this because singing together opens our heart. And so even though we're not physically together, we are still together in this space. So just know that we are experiencing oneness during our community song, and I'm going to hand the screen over to Jessie while she leads us in that this morning. Thank you, Jessie.
Thank you, Amy, for that beautiful introduction. This one's a Ricky Byers song, because Ricky Byers knows how to do a chant. Here we go. I release. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Okay, I have a challenge for the chat. When I say the word God, it means a lot of different things. And so when I say I'm only here for God, I don't think of it like I'm a servant to some outside God. I actually think of it like I just came to the buffet of life and I'm here for the chocolate fondue part of the buffet. And some days I'm there for, like, I don't know, the grilled asparagus. I know that's so weird, but I love asparagus. And, you know, sometimes I'm there for the mahi-mahi tacos. So in the chat, tell me what you're here for today. What are you showing up for in life today? And let's sing it again. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I'm free in the Spirit. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. One more time. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. And chocolate and mahi-mahi tacos.
I love it. Okay, I wrote the deepest, profound, liberated agape love, and I was thinking, what kind of food would that look like to me? It might be something like grilled asparagus or like Granny Smith apples. I love that kind of stuff.
I like the green, very hard.
Yeah, green. I have the green theme today. Yeah, maybe that's
green.
it. Michael J says freedom. Jan said in the chat, love.
Nice.
Right, Jan, let me check the chat. Yes.
Hummingbirds.
Ooh, hummingbirds. Yes, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Sonia says, I'm here for joy and marshmallow fluff.
Yes.
This is great. I'm here for love, to give it, receive it, and be it. Thank you, Marianne. Joy, says Pat. Woo, I love this. I love it. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. We're grateful. All right. This is great. I'm going to hand the screen over to Jan. She has our inspirational reading for today.
Hey, good morning again, everyone. And today I'm going to do something a little different. I researched one of my favorite poets, John Rodell, and he's a poet, a comedian, an author, a mentor, travels all over the world. Anyway, he's just an amazing, very honest, direct, loving, compassionate human being. And I'm going to read one of his poems called The Places in Our Heart Where the World Took Bites. And then I'm going to pause and I'm going to put one more paragraph, not even paragraph, just one more verse that I added for wounds, from wounds to wonder. Okay, let's go. The places in our heart where the world took bites out of us may never fully heal, and will likely become wide open spaces. Be careful not to fill them with just anything or anyone. Your wounds aren't supposed to become attics for you to hoard unnecessary junk. These holes in our hearts are holy sites, and we should treat them as such. So when visiting your old wounds, make sure to take your shoes off and turn off your cell phone. Sit by candlelight and watch how the shadows tell the story, how brave you are to survive. And after hours, days, years, you may see clearly the story's gifts and smile, full of joy, thankful for the holes in your heart and the wonder unfolding. And so it is.
Wow. Where does that invite you to soften right now? That's so beautiful, Jan. Thank you for sharing that. I just absolutely love that. Holy sites, those spots are holy sites. What
That's
a
John Rodell.
John Rodell. Okay, so I'm going to post that in our connection group. If you're not in our connection group, join our connection group. If you go to our Facebook page, there should be a link to join our group right on our main page. So I try to post things in there that we talk about here on Sunday, and we want to excavate a little bit more deeply. So, wow, that was beautiful. That was a wonderful choice, Jan. Thank you so much. Really, truly let those words settle into the heart. Woo, big stuff there. Okay, I'm going to hand the screen over to Jessie, and she is just going to take us into that. I know it.
All right. I didn't know which one to do first, but I think this one is best after the reading. Can you feel my love? Let it wrap you up in a warm body. It is more than enough that you are simply breathing right now. You bring your highs, you bring your lows. You try to prove to me you don't deserve anything. I'll keep holding the space for you to simply be here right now. And it's a hard road to loving yourself. It's a hard thing to believe it enough to be loved by somebody else. You may be lost, you may be shaken and confused, but none of this is gonna dissuade me from loving you. Ooh, all this darkness is waiting. I don't care if it's a mess in there. I just wanna see you shine as you are. It's a hard road to loving yourself. It's a hard thing to believe it enough to be loved by somebody else. You may be lost, you may be shaken and confused, but none of this is gonna dissuade me from loving you. All this darkness is just a feeling, and it's feelings that make you grow. When you're growing, it means you're healing, making your way to where you let resistance go. And I can show you the way, and I will reassure you that through it all, I'm gonna stay. Ooh, I'm gonna stay. Ooh, and I love you, darling, whether or not you believe that it's true. And I love you, sugar, so open up and receive what I'm giving you. Oh, all this darkness is just a feeling, and it's feelings that make us grow. When we're growing, well, it means we're healing, making our way to where we let resistance go. And I can show you the way, and I will reassure you that through it all, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay. Ooh.
Wow. Oh, just notice what shifts with music. You know how music can change your whole vibration, and what amazing lyrics. Darkness is just a feeling. Feelings make us grow. When we're growing, we're healing when we let resistance go. Mm, beautifully profound and touching and tender and all the things. Thank you, Jessie. We're grateful for you. Okay, so now we're going to move into our prosperity in practice, and Jan has that for us. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you, everyone. And Jesse, that was profound. It's so at so many levels. Anyway, thank you so much. So I'm going to share Prosperity's 10 Commandments, or one of them, by Georgiana Tree West. And so this book, her writing is from the Unity Classic Library. And the first one that we're talking about today, the Prosperity in Practice, is Speak No Word of Limitation. Prosperity principle is the word gives form to thought. What we speak sets creative energy into motion. And the practice is, in Unity teaching, the word is not casual, it is formative. Every spoken word carries an idea. Every idea tends to move towards expression. As Jesus taught, our words shape our experience. When we say things like, I can't, there's not enough, or it never works out, we are not simply describing reality. We are participating in its formation. This is not about rigid self-monitoring. It's about awareness. This week, listen to your language, not with judgment, but with curiosity. When you notice limiting words, gently shift them. Instead of speaking lack, speak truth. Not forced positivity, but grounded possibility. Words are seeds. Choose them with care. Thank you.
Words are seeds. Choose them with care. We create with our words. Abracadabra. Thank you, Jan. Very powerful. Great reminders for us. I'm handing the screen back over to Jessie. She has our final song for us this morning. Thank you, Jessie.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me again. I love being here.
We love that.
I've been dragging my feet again. Can't seem to get my mind on the right track. And it's been a couple of months now, and I keep hoping I'll get that high back. Why do I wake up to the sun and see only dark? Child, let it slide. There's a little piece of heaven right before your eyes. Child, give it up. 'Cause if you keep on keeping it, you're gonna miss so much in this life. Don't you remember that clarity that you were promising you'd never forget? Where is that in your mind now? Has it been crowded out by your bitterness? Oh, and you can't make people stay. You can only change yourself. Oh, and the sooner you let go, the sooner you make room for something else. Child, let it slide. There's a little piece of heaven right before your eyes. Child, give it up. 'Cause if you keep on keeping it, you're gonna miss so much in this life. And I know it hurts, and it might be worse than you expected it to be. But child, look around, there's no one here now. You are your only enemy. Yeah. Oh, child, let it slide. There's a little piece of heaven right before your eyes. Child, give it up. 'Cause if you keep on keeping it, you're gonna miss so much. Oh, if you keep on keeping it, you're gonna miss so much. Oh, if you keep on keeping it, you're gonna miss so much in this life.
Oh, wow. I love it. Child, let it slide. Actually, I almost picked that song this morning when I posted on my page, you and Fred, and I wanted to pair it with a song, and I was between Electrolyte and Let It Slide. Little piece of heaven right before your eyes. Whoa.
Always.
Yep. Always. Thank you so much, Jessie,
Yes.
for your spirit, your energy, your heart, the joy you bring
Oh.
to us through your music. Such a gift. Thank you both, Jan and Jessie, for your presence here this morning, your care for creating this space. Jessie, where can people find you? More of you and your music and all the things.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and Facebook, Jessie Powers Music, and that's JESSE, Powers like superpowers, music. And then you can also find me at that same series of words, my website, jessiepowersmusic.com, and YouTube, youtube.com/jessiepowersmusic.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your yes and the gift of you this morning. Jan, thank you so much. There's lots of love coming into the chat for the music, for the readings, for everything. So thank you both so much for setting up our space this morning. We're grateful for you. I love you both dearly. I'll see you on this side of the live stream.
Thank you.
And we have our beloved Dr. Fred Luskin with us. He has arrived, and I am so grateful for you and your willingness to say yes to us and share your wisdom and your heart and your message. So I'm going to hand the screen over to Dr. Fred Luskin for our morning message and our theme this morning, From Wounds to Wonder.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I was going to say it's nice to be back, but I'm not back because I'm sitting in my car, and there is something diminished by that. There just is, that we're human beings. We need the energy of other human beings. That said, of course, I will do my best to, I don't know, transmit or whatever. When I was listening to the thing about the prosperity thing about our words, there's a lot of truth there. I just think it was presented way too simply. That this, to me, this is one of the deeper issues, questions of the spiritual path, is living our words. So it's not just like every now and then or whatever, yeah, I mean well. It's so much harder and deeper than that to have your words and actions in alignment. One of the great issues that we all bring is dependability, reliability. Like if we say we're going to do something, do we do it? If you tell somebody, I'm going to call you later, and you don't call them, you just cheapened your words. You just made, and this is what's so challenging about it. I think when Jesus was saying what he said, or other people who really, really understand this field, when they say your words have power, that only means that you honor them. The words itself have no power. When they come from a source of integrity, they have a lot of power. So if you mollify somebody, give them bullshit words to make peace, you may not have that much power when you need it, when you want them to listen to your words. When you hide behind your words, when we all do, we diminish the power of our words. When we criticize someone harshly, we diminish the power of our words. But to me, the deepest issue, there are two very deep spiritual issues with this. One is our defensiveness. We are all so defensive. So when people tell us the truth about ourselves, we argue with them. Fred, you're a slob. No, I'm not. Fred, you're late. No, I'm not. I meant to be late, but actually it was the problem with the traffic and all this other garbage. Fred, what you said was cruel. Well, that's your problem. You heard me wrong. Our defensiveness is one of the great things that seriously cheapens our words, our authenticity, our spirit, and our power. It destroys relationship because our words cease to have meaning. I'll say that one of the best reasons to have an intimate partnership is because they see you sometimes in a way you don't. And they tell you truth about you that you don't want to hear. And then we, in our egocentricity or our fear, tell them they're wrong. I've watched you for 5 years. I see that when your mother says X, you say Y. Has nothing to do with your mother, it's you. And then you go, no, you're wrong. My mother's an asshole. Any normal person who's treated that way would respond the way I do. And then the partner says, no, I've watched you now, it's you. And then you yell at the partner for being insensitive. One of the strongest, deepest reasons to have an essential, intimate partner is because they see you and you see them. You can't hide yourself from somebody you sleep with, you live with, you talk with, you wake up in the morning with. They see you and you see them. But our defensiveness and our lack of ability to want our words to matter and be aligned with who we are, we fight them. We argue with them. And sometimes they're not right. I'm not saying everything out of your partner's mouth is like Moses coming down with the 12 tablets or the 10 tablets. But they see things that we don't. And the world sees things that we don't. And our defensiveness, our using our words to create a barrier between us and reality, is probably the biggest cheapening we give to our words. No, I will not accept the way it is. No, I am not curious about what's real. No, I do not accept criticism that impacts my fake sense of self. No. That defensiveness for most of us is pervasive. Or we get met when instead of defensiveness, we give victimhood. How dare you say that to me? How dare you question my whatever? How dare you remind me of past wounds? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? And again, we cheapen our words. I believe that what was said before is absolutely true, that our words carry tremendous power when we live them. Tremendous power. I would say that most of us don't come anywhere close to living them. Again, being absolutely reliable with words is the cornerstone step. Don't say I love you if you don't mean it. Don't say I love you to soothe other differences. Don't be harsh just because you're hurt. Speak honestly. You don't just get to speak honestly for a few seconds wanting prosperity. It doesn't mean anything. Honesty is a deep spiritual practice. It is really hard to do. It is not glib, it's not simple, it's not easy. It comes when you don't feel like it. It comes when you've been humbled. It comes when you've been threatened. It is really hard to be honest. It is really, really hard to say that hurts, but you have every right to say it. That's honesty. So this like trivial prosperity stuff, fine. It's the minorest froth on a very deep and challenging spiritual issue. Can I be straight with myself is the other part of it. Am I willing to see myself clearly? That's a whole level of honesty that is so beyond the most of us. And it's one of the reasons I believe that all the spiritual traditions suggest meditation. you have to be able to quiet down to be able to hear. And you have to be able to quiet down for even for a second to see yourself clearly. My bad, I was harsh. My bad, I have a lot of unresolved stuff. My bad, I'm in a hurry. My bad, I get distracted. I respond to my technology too much. Or my bad, I just don't get it. I need help. Help me understand more deeply and clearly. But it is so, 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 so difficult to actually hear what we say. So difficult. And to speak not with forked tongue, as they say, about yourself. We try to paper over our flaws. We try to exaggerate our virtues. Our ego will do anything to defend itself. So again, if you want your words to have power, be honest. And it's not primarily what you ask for. There's no power in that. You can ask for anything. There's no power in that. The power is in being honest about yourself, about what you're doing, about what you seriously want. And even in conflict, to be honest means that other people exist. I've had people tell me, well, I'm just telling you how I feel. That's my truth. That's a piece of a truth. There's a big world out there. There's often somebody else you're talking to. Your truth is not just your limited perspective on your views. That's a sliver of truth. A deeper truth is, well, I have trouble hearing what you're saying to integrate it with what I'm saying. I have a hard time being open. That's a truth too. I'm very easily to judge. That's a truth. I don't like it when people don't see it my way. That's a truth. All I'm trying to point out is a lot of this new agey feel good stuff has very little to do with real spirituality. Real spirituality is hard and it goes deep. And as challenging as this is, it gets to us being clean and open as best we can, learning over time, over and over and over again, to actually tell the truth. And it is so difficult. It's much easier to do pablum and to say, well, that feels good and this doesn't feel good, and let's all feel good together. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not real honesty. It can be a piece of it. But the deepest spiritual honesty, the hardest, is to recognize ourselves, own what we've created, and try to make it right if we haven't done our best. That's the real deepest honesty. To try to own what we did. And then if it wasn't as skillful as we would have hoped, try to make it right. It involves an interiorization of awareness so we can see and hear more clearly. The other level of honesty that none of us can even touch barely is that there are so many different levels of honesty. There's just selfishness, there's drive, there's equality, there's compassion, there's loving kindness, there's raw selfishness. Those are all different perspectives, and an honest analysis from each is different. So I'm going to suggest that to some degree we try to be a little more accountable with our speech. Own it when we don't follow it. Try to say as little as possible. I look forward to seeing you soon when you don't. Try being honest. If you want your words to have power and you want the universe to respond to them, make more of the words real. I mean, why would the universe pick up your one statement of make me more prosperous when all the other stuff is garbled? Why would it pick that out? It would say, no, you're mostly bullshit. And so it's a spur, it's a inner spur to just be more accountable. Ram Dass, who's to me about as clear a spiritual teacher as exists in his words, took after the common human desire to hurt by calling it honesty. And he would say, yeah, that's a very low level of honesty. The higher level of honesty is we're here to be kind and help each other. And that one's much harder. But then you end up with the Buddhist, their eightfold paths of right speech. Is what I'm saying truthful? That's a good place to start. But then, is it necessary? It may be truthful, but it's not necessary. And then, is it kind? And then you have right speech. So is it truthful? It's just the beginning. If you start out lying, then you can't do the other two. It can't be necessary, and it's certainly not kind. But the bottom line is it true? Okay, great. You're ugly. That's the truth. But is it necessary? And is it kind? So these are the much deeper, much questions of knowledge and speech that has power. If the people in relationship with you know that you're, honest, kind, and say when it's needed, everything you say gets attention. Everything. Because they know you're not wasting anybody's time. You don't have to hit them over the head to pay attention, because your words have real meaning and real power. But when much of what you say is just self-serving garbage, people tune out. Has no power. The thing that makes most people turn out is defensiveness. Is I'm not going to let you in. Even if what you say is true, I'm not letting you in. I'll find a way to deflect it so I don't have to change. We're all easily hurt. So you don't have to be harsh to be defensive. You can just say, hey, what you're saying is challenging to my self-concept. so I don't want to hear it. That's truthful. It may even be necessary. Maybe you can't hear it. And it's kind. It's not blaming somebody else. I can't take that in. It's too hard for me. I just can't. It's not you, it's me. That's incredibly powerful speech. I'm older. I've been at this spiritual stuff for decades. The bottom line is it's hard. There's no shortcuts. There may be. I just haven't found them. There's no easy path that doesn't involve some ego deconstruction. That's the game. The biggest Buddhist complaint against mindfulness is how it's been pacified from what the Buddhists take. Mindfulness is not primarily to make you a little calmer or to make you feel better. It's to help you see more clearly, which is not always pretty or easy. You get to observe and detach, and so you see things more clearly. And sometimes it doesn't make you happy, and sometimes it leads to great peace, but the point is to see things more clearly. So again, what I'm responding to was something that I think was presented too facilely without the required depth of spiritual practice, which for most of us involves some humbling and some accountability. And that's not easy. And you don't start your spiritual quest there. You start on the simple, I hope I feel good from it. But as you deepen, it goes from, I hope I feel good from it to, I hope I free myself from my bad qualities. And that's what I was responding to. That it is really hard to free ourselves from these mindless qualities we have. Anyway, I thank you for your attention. I believe this work is essential. Spiritual work may even be simple, but it sure ain't easy.
Amen to that.
It sure ain't easy.
Yes, I know. I affirm that 100%.
I know.
But it takes a commitment. I think that's really part of it, that you become so disciplined because it's so easy to become the victim or make a villain or get defensive, that we have to just become so disciplined in our practice that, that is the Eightfold Path, right? Creating that discipline that no matter what's going on, no matter who's throwing daggers at you or whatever's happening, you remain steady in your walk. If
Or
you
you
say,
work at it to come back without blaming the dagger thrower.
Exactly. Right.
Because when none of us are that centered.
Right. And how quickly can we return? Right. Great point.
Yeah.
I feel that, what's central to our theme from Wounds to Wonder and what you're saying, I excavated from this a little bit, was like defensiveness is often the guardian of the wound. So if we're talking about from wounds to wonder, defensiveness rears up, right? If something shows up, like something tender was touched, right? So instead of letting us go deeper into what you said, really mindfulness is about see more clearly. So instead of going deeper into see more clearly, the defensiveness protects us by closing off, like we don't really want to see that so deeply. And so we get the opportunity that when that flash of defensiveness comes up, to become aware of it and say, is that actually a doorway? Is that actually...
Well, that's a choice we have.
Right. Because on this other side of defensiveness, really something sacred could happen. And I think that's what you're speaking to when you're talking about
But I
your
think
ego.
that's the portal to the sacred, is the
Yeah,
lessening of defensiveness and attack.
100%. Yes. And we're not saying this is like easy peasy work.
Oh
This
my
takes
God.
practice. And I know Fred and I have had endless conversations about this and softening and being that space on the planet. And um, because we can get to that honesty and that it creates a space for that real connection. And going back to the conversation about relationship and why intimate partnership is such a space of nourishing that growth is because, yeah, that person is going to see you more deeply than anybody else and able to point out these maybe blind spots that can be so potent to your growth, and give an invitation to, put down the defensiveness, soften, and get curious. I think you used the word curious about what it's
Let
protecting.
me say,
What's that?
but let
Yeah,
me
go ahead.
even make it more emphatic.
Okay.
I believe that our intimate partner is our opportunity to get reparented after the parents.
Say that again. You broke
That
up a little bit.
that's what it's.
Re-
Oh, it's to get reparented.
Reparented. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
I
point.
I
That
100%
you
agree
get
because you're
another
attached.
opportunity.
Go ahead, Fred.
Well, you're attached, and there's a somewhat safe place to let go of the tenacious hold of your ego attachments and fears.
Right. I
And
mean,
and that is, and well, you don't have to sign up for it, but it's that's what's there, and that's what's so hard.
right,
You bring all your wounds with you.
right. And often from the unconscious place, we select partners
Oh,
for that very job, for the
it is.
exact job of whatever you needed reparenting in. And that's really the sweetness of it, even though it can feel sour in the moment. It is the sweetness of it, and to really, I love how you mentioned this is the mindfulness, how we've become like, oh, we're calm, Zen masters on the hill. It's not really that. It's about see more clearly. Sometimes is like, bam, that was hard. That hit me hard. I didn't necessarily want to see all that and what I choose and why do I choose it, and excavate all of that. And I think you spoke to this, that when we look beneath the defense and get still, I think that's the phrase you use, like get still, then that wound, that thing begins to speak to us, and then we can finally see it and hold it and understand it. And I think that's where that wonder begins, in that curious place. And if we can actually not allow that ego to rear up, or if we do, come back to, like what you said, come back to, hey, I screwed up in that moment, or I see what happened. I think that's the humility that, oh, it's just so layered. There's so much here. Let me check in with the feed. It's just such a
Amy,
yes.
we're all works in progress.
Yes, we are.
I gotta go in a minute. If you have a question that came through, give it to
Yep.
me,
Let
please.
me look. Defensiveness. Let's see. Linda said, very poignant, important reminders, honesty. I don't actually see any questions. Verona said, such an opening to my embracing vulnerability. Many thanks for this learning. Yes. Thank you, Dennis, for being here. Yeah, this was a really, I loved the part that the conversation ended with about honesty, and um oh, I just different levels of honesty, and just I guess a way to close is like the highest level of honesty is to be kind. So when someone's throwing the daggers at you, and
Yes,
not villainize,
yes,
or
that's it.
victimize, to be kind. How do we get back to that? If coming back to what you're talking about, our word is true, then we need to look at it everywhere in all the facets of our lives. We can't go over here and throw daggers and then over here like, oh, we're love and light.
That, or recognize why you don't get much impact from your words. That explains it.
Yeah. Clean. You said us being clean. And I like that because I always say energetic hygiene. So it's like really being clean and to open over and over and over to tell the truth and see more clearly and hear more clearly. Thank you, Fred. We appreciate your wisdom. We appreciate your time and the expertise
you,
and your
Amy.
heart and soul. And I love you dearly. And you know that.
And we'll speak soon, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll talk to you soon. Much love. Everybody, well, we know Fred. I love Fred so dearly. I'm so grateful for his willingness to zoom in with us. Sonia says defensiveness is the guardian of the wound. Very perceptive thought. Yeah, that's what I was thinking when he was talking about it. You know, that defensiveness, it rears up only at certain times, right? And it's when there's something that was touched. So very you know, the thing about Fred is you just never know which way he's going to go. And so it was so interesting that he went that direction with From Wounds to Wonder to talk about defensiveness. And as he was talking about defensiveness and honesty, I thought, oh, I mean, it really is. We're like talking about like the foundational stuff to wounds. So, so perfect. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us. I am so grateful for your presence and your willingness to participate in our space and bring your heart and souls here. So just remember that if the message, the community here supports you, nourishes you, we invite you to participate in a sacred exchange of giving, and you can do that on our website, unityinspiredliving.org. Your generosity allows this space of wisdom and music and connection and growth to continue. So thank you. We are tremendously grateful for your part in this community and the continuation and evolution of Unity Inspired Living. So normally I close with our prayer of protection. And Marianne says, Fred is a master teacher. We are blessed. He definitely is. I mean, and I know him at a very deep, intimate friendship level. And I can say he walks the talk. And actually, I wish he stayed for this because I thought of him when I pulled up my card because he has, anyway, he has a picture of Jesus in his car. And I have a picture of Jesus always on my altar and by my bed. And so I normally close us with the prayer of protection, but I'd like to do something a little different today. And I felt called to share this prayer that has carried me through some of the most difficult seasons of my life, biggest wounds of my life since I was a child. And many of you already know it. And perhaps it will just feel like a gentle reminder. And then other people, I thought, well, you may be hearing it for the first time. And so in that, it can be an offering of comfort right on time. So it's a simple prayer, but a powerful one. And a reminder that even in our hardest, treacherous moments or in our deepest wounds, we're not walking alone. So this is the prayer. Footprints. One night, a man had a dream. He dreamed he was walking along the beach with the Lord. Across the sky flashed scenes from his life. For each scene, he noticed two sets of footprints in the sand, one belonging to him and one belonging to the Lord. You can say God, Spirit there, whatever feels comfortable for you. When the last scene of his life flashed before him, he looked back at the footprints in the sand. He noticed that many times along the path of his life, there was only one set of footprints. He also noticed that it happened at the very lowest and saddest times in his life. This really bothered him, and he questioned the Lord about it. Lord, you said that when I follow you, you'd walk with me all the way through my life. But I have noticed that during the most troublesome times in my life, there is only one set of footprints. I don't understand why when I needed you the most, you would leave me. And the Lord replied, my precious, precious child, I love you, and I would never leave you. During your times of trial and suffering, when you see only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you. I just have found so much comfort in that prayer over the years, and hopefully that is offers you the same this morning. Um, so let me check in, Verona. My saving grace since I'm a little girl, this prayer. Yes, I love you, my sweet sister. I'm so glad you're with us this morning. Yeah, it really has been my saving grace, and many times too, to remember that we're held through no matter what the suffering is, no matter what the situation is, no matter how big the wound is, no matter how broken you feel. The suffering, the setback is really your setup. It's really what's coming next. That's the space is being created for you, and the spirit is holding you. It is then when I carried you. I know, isn't that just like it's just such the gives me God bumps. That's what we say, right, Verona? God bumps. Gives me God bumps when I say that at the end of that prayer. So, oh, thank you, beloved souls, for being here with us this morning. I am so grateful for our time together, and so appreciative of each and every one of you and your spirit. So thank you, thank you. I will see you right here next week, same time, same place. So shine on, bright ones. I love you dearly.